Welcome to another episode of What If Civilization Started Over. We are on episode 13 and today we are going to expand this journey. Last episode we saw many expeditions and countries such as Purple, the new Neon Lime country, Pink, Green and Lavender all grew and expanded their borders. But we also got a new country in the world and that's Dark Orange. So let's see what they do right now. Dark Orange had other plans than Dark Red, so they expanded their borders here in the south coast in the middle of Africa. They got pretty far and they wanted to have multiple major coast cities in their country. They also went a little bit up north and they expanded their land pretty massively. But I want to show you something that I have been working on in between episodes. I have made this Excel sheet with every information that's relevant for this series for me to remember. We have every country so far, the state of them, the only country that's gone nowadays is Lime. Lime was defeated, and we see the amount of cities every country has and provinces, and for example all the enemies they have and all their friends and the alliances. Something I want to take a look at a little bit before we continue is the power level. Which countries are the strongest? And well, this is the order. Our country, the Dark Greens, are the 10th most powerful country in the world. They have a nice coastline and they of course are stemming from the Cyan team. The 9th most powerful country in the world is Magenta. They have a major coast in the Mediterranean Sea and they have a great geography placement here with the Alpine Mountains. And then we have Orange, that is the 8th most powerful country in the world. They were a little bit higher in the list, but when they got overrun by the Browns, they lost a major part of their power. But they are still pretty powerful, but not as powerful as Brown. Our 7th country is Grey. They have good relationships with the new pink countries. They had a good relationship with gold, but that sadly just stopped after the alliances popped up. The 6th country is Cyan. As you can see, they have many coasts. They are not really massive, but they are pretty large and have some major cities all across their board. And our 5th country is Lavender. That's maybe surprising for you because, well, they are still not really in contact with the rest of the world, but they are growing. Their power level is expanding rapidly, so they will maybe surpass many countries up in the list pretty soon. Then 4th is Dark Red. They of course defeated the Reds and they got major parts of Lime too. Lime was not really a powerful country before, but they had some nice parts they could use. They had some major population as well. Also Dark Red is lying pretty great geography wise. And they of course are in the alliance with the Southern Pact, so it's hard to defeat them. Our 3rd most powerful country in the world is Gold, surprisingly. They are strong. They are expanding from Latvia all the way up to Greenland. They have Iceland, they have the Norwegian coast. They are of course in the Southern Pact as well. Ironic because they are not in the south at all. But they have good relationships with other strong countries. They are cooking. And the 2nd most powerful country in the world is Brown. Well, you know why? They defeated Orange, so they got a major part of them. They are in alliance again with the Southern Pact. They are just really strong at the moment because of early technology as well. And our most powerful country in the world is, what you maybe saw coming, Dark Blue. Why Dark Blue? Well, they have also many major cities. They are the 2nd oldest country in the world. Red is just weakened a lot since the 2nd Great War. Dark Blue has many coasts, a great population, had a great relationship with their neighbors, but because they joined the Southern Pact, Cyan and Dark Blue are not enemies with each other, so that's not in the Excel spread yet. Cyan and Dark Blue are still friends, but yeah, that can change maybe in the future. So this was the power ranking. We will do this once in a few episodes, but now let's focus really on Dark Orange. Dark Orange made an expedition towards the east and they discovered a little part here and they got an island. They like this island here, so they wanted to stay here as well to eventually bring more cities here in the middle. And 2 new major cities popped up. And because Dark Orange is just in an early state, they are not dividing their land yet other than the original territory they had in the very beginning. See this as their main province. They are like focusing on 2 parts. The part that divided from Dark Red and this new part right here with these 2 settlements near that little island under there. But after a while, the King of Dark Orange had many plans to expand up north and maybe someday take some land. With of course the confirmation from Dark Red. But since the King of Dark Red did not approve any more expeditions, they finally got in touch with Dark Orange, and the king finally knew, my people are still alive. And since then, Dark Red and Dark Orange got in touch with each other. They were still friends, they just had other plans, and Dark Red just let it slide. They had a major part here in Europe. They wanted to expand down in the Sahara, but they didn't have any plans to do that yet because of the climate, of course, the weather. Dark Orange, on the other hand, had many plans to expand north, south, and east. So a few people went to the south to search for more and more land. Some people went to the east to find also some more land. Well, of course, there is much land, but you get what I mean. And 3 groups went up north to find even more valuable land. All the way to the east, we have Dark Blue. Dark Blue, after sitting around and not doing much, other than they took this part pretty recently, they finally got this island they saw a long time ago, but they were not the only one that took that island at the same time. Purple also was already lying on this island, and they shared another border. Did they care that much? No, Purple wanted to stay friends with Dark Blue because, well, if they didn't, they're cooked. Dark Blue expanded their borders a little bit around the coast. Dark Blue wanted to expand their borders even more, so went a little bit to the south. But people here in the south, in the major cities, were sort of declining towards the king like, yo, you are expanding majorly. We are from south to north pretty large. Are you really going to manage our people that far south? Because yourself are pretty much far up north? The king said, yes, of course, it's my land. I will please my people how far I can. So he demanded the people to expand the borders more. So people here along the coast did what he said. He also approved 3 other expeditions. Right here, and right here at the border against Dark Red. And after a great while, he not only got this, but also this. Dark Blue expanded really massively, so they had to update their provinces too. And after a while, some new cities started to pop up in those new areas as well. And after that, Dark Blue demanded geographers to make new provinces and to update their map. And this is how it was looking like right now. They expanded far towards the west, and how farther to the west, how bigger the provinces were going to get. But some provinces stayed the same as well, like these stayed the same. Some stayed the same a little bit, but others expanded more towards the west. But when Dark Blue was expanding their borders, also someone else expanded as well. Of course, it was Dark Orange. And yeah, you can sort of see 2 main blobs here as well. We have, of course, the main blob right here, and another one right here. And after a little discussion, these 2 settlements want to stay on their own. Just like what happened what Dark Orange did towards Dark Red, of course. And they decided to make a clear decision on where they would split. And they did it pretty quick, because you can see a little point right here. This was going to be the border for these 2 countries. So let's see what this country is ending up to be. And this is a new country, Dark Green. Dark Green actually didn't exist yet in my Excel sheet as well. This was called green, so if I mean dark green, I mean this country here in Africa. Also, this is their capital, and after they divided up, they expanded even more. Also, this island was discovered by them, and both countries got more settlements. But after Dark Red eventually heard about a second new country here in the south, he really wanted to stay in contact with those two countries, and Dark Green here is still friends with Dark Red. But they are more friends with Dark Orange, of course. But because of this sort of triangle existing here, Dark Red really wanted to get actually still a settlement here. So Dark Red expanded here in the south, and after a while, already 3 settlements were popping up. Dark Red expanded with 3 new provinces, Dark Orange expanded with 10 new provinces, and Dark Green got 12 in total. But let's take a look at what Lavender did in all this time. They expanded their borders in this peninsula, and they got pretty far south. But after like many decades, maybe even a millennia right now as well, after no inner conflict, Lavender was becoming a little bit big to manage itself. Many people were living here in Lavender in the major part, and let's say they are maybe third with the country with the third most population in the whole world right now. And after getting this part too, they were divided, let's say. We have this whole east half being for more expeditions, more land, expand themselves. They are totally for that. This west side was not against it per se, but they were more interested in the real world that they were divided from since their deviation here in the sea. And you can still see after the Lavender team got settled, there is still no capital city. Remember, I never have drawn it because there was not one. They all ruled together, but this is the first time Lavender shot themselves in the foot, because the west half was not really happy anymore with the east half. It happened right here. This settlement right here went on an agreement with this settlement right here, somewhere in the middle. They wanted to get an agreement that they were going to expand here towards purple and not anymore towards, let's say, China. But this settlement, the leader from this settlement was not happy with that outcome. They wanted to expand more. They wanted to not think about the rest of the world, about the so-called purple team, the so-called dark blue team. They also knew a little bit. These two were not happy with each other anymore. And after that, this settlement, the leader of it, talked with more of the settlements here in the west. They came on an agreement to not listen what this settlement said. And this settlement, their leader, talked to many of the leaders and many of the people right here in the east. And you can see it coming. It was boiling in the Lavender team. It was really getting out of hand. One mistake and this could end in a whole different way they actually all wanted. After a while, this leader of this settlement went on an adventure and arrived here in this settlement. He wanted to make it clear that they wanted to expand. You guys here in the west can expand towards the west, but let us expand towards the east and still be friends with each other. They voted for this outcome. And many of the close by leaders, also in just major villages that are not shown on the map, came together right here. Same for this side, the east side. And this leader that wanted to expand towards the east lost with 40-60, so 60% against him. He was like, okay then, we will do it another time. We can always expand without the rest knowing. He whispered that to his companion that was sitting next to each other. But someone overheard that, and a fight occurred here in the settlement. And the leader was killed. This leader was killed. Friends from this settlement, from that leader, quickly ran out of the place, and here in the settlement it was a rampage. People were fighting with each other. Some people from this side in major villages attacked other people from the other side, from other villages right here. It was getting out of hand pretty quick. They all left eventually after a major fight, and it was pretty clear. A new war was on the Lavender's doorstep. Mint was going to attack the Lavender Team.